There's something most people don't realize about Aries and Scorpio. On the surface, they look nothing alike. One is loud, fast, direct. The other is quiet, intense, controlled. But beneath that difference, they are ruled by the same planet, Mars. And today, I want to talk about how the same planetary energy can produce two completely different survival strategies. Mars is often reduced to anger, aggression, or sex. But at its core, Mars is much more primitive than that. Mars is the survival instinct. It answers one question: what do I do when I feel threatened, challenged, or obstructed? It's not about personality, it's not about emotion, it's about instinct, primal, automatic, unavoidable. And how that instinct expresses itself depends entirely on the element it's filtered through. For Aries, Mars moves through fire, direct, immediate, explosive, react first, think later, move fast. For Scorpio, Mars moves through water, deep, absorptive, strategic, wait, watch, analyze, strike when the moment is right. Same planet, completely different strategy. Mars is the energy that fuels action. It shows up when life pushes back, when you feel blocked. When the pressure mounts, Aries responds outward. Scorpio responds inward. Aries Mars moves, Scorpio Mars waits. And that difference changes everything about how the energy flows, how power is used, how challenges are met. Understanding this is the first step, because once you see Mars for what it really is, you start to see why Aries and Scorpio, ruled by the same planet, can feel so different and yet so powerful in their own ways. Aries is cardinal fire, Mars here is immediate, fast, direct. Threat, Aries acts now. Obstacle, Aries confronts it head on. Frustration, Aries explodes and then moves on. There's very little delay between impulse and action. Aries doesn't store anger, it releases it quickly, clearly. That's why people think Aries is angry. It's not, it's expressive. It shows, then it's done. Aries Mars survives through movement, momentum, action, instinct in motion, burns fast, moves fast. Aries learns by doing, by testing limits, by facing the challenge immediately. When life pushes back, Aries reacts first. Questions come later. Energy flows outward. Impact happens instantly. Aries is fire in its purest form, bold, direct, relentless. The path forward is never delayed, and that's why Mars in Aries is so unmistakable. It's raw energy, it's assertive, it's alive. Scorpio is fixed water. Mars here is quiet, controlled, calculated. Threat, Scorpio absorbs it first. Obstacle, Scorpio studies it, waits, plans. Frustration, Scorpio feels it deeply and doesn't rush. Scorpio doesn't explode. The energy is contained, focused, intense. That's why people underestimate Scorpio. The anger isn't gone. It's concentrated, powerful, dangerous if ignored. Scorpio Mars survives through endurance, through strategy, through control. It watches, waits. It analyzes every move. Every response is deliberate. Nothing is wasted. Scorpio learns by observing, by mastering the situation before acting, by understanding hidden dynamics. The water doesn't flow fast. It flows deep, slow, steady, unyielding. Mars in Scorpio waits for the right moment, not because it's afraid, because timing is everything. Precision matters more than speed. Aries reacts outward. Scorpio contains inward. Same planet, same survival instinct, completely different strategy. Here's the key difference between Aries and Scorpio Mars. Aries survives through action. Scorpio survives through endurance. Aries confronts the challenge head on. Scorpio studies the challenge, waits for the right moment. Aries fights the battle. Scorpio wins the war. Aries moves fast, reacts fast, releases energy fast. Scorpio moves slow, calculates, contains energy until it's precise. Neither is better, neither is worse. They're optimized for different situations. Aries wins by momentum, by forward movement, by boldness. Scorpio wins by control, by patience, by strategy. Aries reacts in real time. Scorpio positions for impact, momentum versus control, action versus endurance, immediate versus calculated. Both are powerful, both are effective, just in very different ways. Most people think Aries is angrier than Scorpio. They're wrong. Aries expresses anger, loud, immediate, clear, it shows, then it's gone. Scorpio contains anger, quiet, deep, controlled. It doesn't disappear, it concentrates. That's why Scorpio anger is rare but unforgettable. Aries reacts and moves on. Scorpio waits until the anger has meaning. Fire burns fast, water smolders. It's not about who's worse, it's about how the energy is processed and released. Aries spills it outward, Scorpio holds it inward. Same planet, same instinct, completely different expression. When Mars is unconscious, both Aries and Scorpio struggle, just in different ways. Aries can become reactive, reckless, destructive, action without reflection, momentum without direction. Burnout is inevitable. Scorpio can become controlling, obsessive, emotionally punishing, containment without release, strategy without movement. Stagnation is inevitable. Both carry intensity, both carry power. Without awareness, that power can turn against themselves. Neither is wrong, neither is better. They just need to learn how to manage the energy. Understanding the shadow side is essential. It's where Mars teaches its hardest lessons. An evolved Mars doesn't lose its power, it gains awareness. For Aries, that means restraint without losing courage, acting with purpose, momentum with direction, using energy to create results, not chaos. For Scorpio, that means release without losing depth. Letting go when necessary, maintaining control without obsession, using strategy to create impact, not stagnation. Aries slows just enough to aim. Scorpio loosens just enough to flow. Action meets control. Momentum meets strategy. Impulse meets awareness. That's when Mars becomes mastery, when instinct is aligned with intention, when survival energy is no longer reactive but conscious. Same planet, same instinct, two completely different expressions, both powerful, both alive. Closing. Aries and Scorpio are different answers to the same instinct, the same survival question. How do I protect myself? How do I assert my will? Mars doesn't care whether the response is loud or quiet. It only cares if it works. Aries moves fast. Scorpio moves deep. Action versus endurance, momentum versus control. Sometimes the most powerful thing Mars can do is choose when to act and when not to act. Both are intense, both are powerful, just in very different ways. Understanding this isn't about labels, it's about seeing the strategy behind the energy.